Good afternoon to you. You're just in time for news feed here on TV 47. I am Muthoni Minor. Starting off, the residents of Kiambaa constituency have mourned the demise of their legislator Paul Koinange. They eulogized him as a servant leader who ensured that there was peace in the constituency and the country at large. Koinange passed on today morning while receiving treatment at Nairobi Hospital. According to the family, the MP died of COVID-19 complications. Now on to Parliament, where MPs are still mourning the Kiambaa MP, Paul Koinange. Now let's cross over and listen into that.
Deeds while being the chair. Into visiting more than 30 counties in this country to look at the status of administration and national security. He has passed on before we have finalized the report that we are compiling, which will have weighty issues that will require fundamental change in the administration and national security. In this parliament here, all the members of parliament, and I can say that because I know it as a fact, would claim to be the best friend of the late Honorable Koinange. Na hii nasema sio kujisemesha. All of us here, especially this committee, would tell you that we were all great friends. He never ever segregated anyone when it came to service. Sisi twasema kuna mti, in our language we say there is a mugumo that has fallen today and we are all hurt. Mugumo ambao umeenda, na vile vile tunasema there is a whole library that understands this country that has fallen today. Na tunasema Mungu amweke pahali pema peponi. Tutaendesha hiyo kazi yake. There is a bill he had already sponsored in this parliament on as a matter of security. As a committee, we will make sure that we continue and further his agenda to see a better Kenya, a Kenya where everybody is respected, a Kenya where we consider ourselves as one. Asanteni.
Thank you. Honorable Rosa, please. Today as a committee, we mourn a fallen hero. Not a hero because he was our chairman, but because he was a dedicated and true servant of the people, whose main focus and dedication was to ensure that our police force and the environment in which they live in enables them to perform their duties to the highest potential. Honorable Koinange spent many days visiting all the police stations in our counties just to see what the problem or the issues were that were making our police force probably not perform to the best of their ability. The last trip that Honorable Koinange made was to Garissa, where he visited the police stations. But alas, before he could give his report, he was taken having contracted the coronavirus. The committee today passes their condolence to the family of Honorable Koinange, and we know and we believe that whatever he started that would make the police force be treated better and be looked after better to enable them serve every Kenyan the way they're supposed to serve, this committee will continue with that endeavor and will ensure that in the honor of Honorable Paul Koinange, our police force will realize the benefits that Paul Koinange always fought to ensure that they realized. We apologize to Kenyans, and we'd like to let Kenyans know that COVID is real. It takes the best, it takes the youngest, it takes the oldest, it takes the richest, it takes the poorest. Let us observe all the protocols of COVID.
Thank you. Honorable Kauli is a close friend and a family.
The sentiments that have been said by some of the members of Parliament on the passing on of the Kiambaa Member of Parliament, Paul Koinange. Indeed, he was a diligent and a dependable leader. Our condolences to them. Now, moving on, the residents of Kiambaa constituency have mourned the demise of their legislator Paul Koinange. They eulogized him as a servant who ensured there was peace in the constituency and the country at large. Koinange passed on today morning while receiving treatment at Nairobi Hospital. According to the family, the MP died of COVID-19 complications.
Hata akitukanwa ni mzee hawezi tukana mtu. He's a very quiet man, a very good man, ambaye anafanya kazi yake kwa utaratibu kabisa.
Aliingia hapa wakati ambapo shule zote za secondary school zilikuwa zimebadilishwa kuwa shule za wasichana. Akakuta hapa vijana wote hawana mahali pa kwenda. Kutokana na haya, Koinange akaanza harakati za kuanzisha mashule ya mixed boys and girls secondary school. Mashule haya yametapakaa kila sehemu, kila kijiji.
Mheshimiwa tunayemkumbuka kwa kuwa na upendo na kupenda watu wake na kuwa kushikanisha jamii letu la hapa Kiambaa. Ni huzuni kubwa juu mheshimiwa wetu alikuwa na agenda moja ya amani, upendo na masomo.
Mimi nitamkumbuka akiwa a legislator ama mwanasiasa uko parliament, mtu anapenda peace. Ya pili, tutakumbuka mheshimiwa Koinange akiwa ameleta aina nyingine ya siasa hapa Kiambaa. Mahali siasa anaifanya akiwa na humility, anakaa na mtu wa chini na anaongea na kila mtu vilivyo.
Indeed, he was a dependable, illustrious and a visionary figure. May his soul rest in peace. Now, with the pressure mounting on President Uhuru Kenyatta to reopen the country, workers in entertainment and hospitality industries took to the streets of Nairobi CBD this morning to protest over the new measures put in place by President Kenyatta to keep the COVID-19 pandemic at bay. The workers have urged the head of state to ease some of the measures, reiterating the devastating toll they have had on their businesses. On Friday, President Kenyatta directed that all bars in 5 counties categorized as disease-infested areas to be closed. In his 15th address on the coronavirus pandemic, Kenyatta also limited operations with hotels and restaurants to takeaway services only, while reviewing curfew hours in Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Machakos and Nakuru counties to start at 8 p.m.
When the politicians were holding those super spreader events, nobody locked the country down. Yes. When they were talking about the BBI, calling it reggae, we are the ones who play the reggae in this Nairobi. Yes. We are the people who play the reggae. We write the reggae songs. Yes. Hamkuona Freddy Juzi alitoa hit song. Yes. Hamkuona JD Juzi na the Dynamics walitoa hit song. Yes. Hamkusikia spoken word ya ndugu yetu. Yes. Don't you think the waiters and the waitresses deserve the same amount of respect? No. What are we supposed to do?
Sisi ndio tunaleta ile pesa mingi kwa economy. Dio. Looking at it realistically. Sisi ndio tuna entertain hao tourists ambao unakubali wanakuja Kenya na sisi hatuwezi tukatembea freely. Sisi ndio tunawapea malazi. Sisi ndio tunawapea security. Sisi ndio tunawapea chakula. We make them happy so that they come back again to our country. Na sasa hivi sisi hatuna kazi. Sisi tuko nyumbani.
Same creatives you politician use siku za elections kuwasaidia na hizo campaigns. Sahi mmetuangusha, mmetudisappoint. Mr. President, one main point. Ile 100 million ulisema unapeana, let me tell you, kuongea ukweli, 80% of the musicians ulikuwa unatumia hatujapata.
We have rents to pay, we have bills to pay. Tunaomba tufunguliwe tuweze kufanya kazi. Hatuombi hata tupewe pesa za bure. Tunasema tufunguliwe tuweze kufanya kazi ambayo ni right yetu kwa hii country. Yes. Kila mtu ako na right ya kufanya kazi aweze kufeed familia yake. Wao saa hii maofisi zao zimefunguliwa. Their offices are opened and they are continuing to work. At the end of the month check yao itakuwa tayari. Yes. Sisi check yetu iko wapi?
Moving on, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says one of the challenges that the government is dealing with currently is premature exposure of the examination materials from some centers. As a result, some center managers have attempted to cheat in the ongoing KCSE exams. Says Magoha was in Kibra, Nairobi, where he monitored the distribution of the exam papers and later visited Moi Girls High School in Kibra.
The small issue that we keep dealing with is premature exposure, but you can see that from the containers the exam is sacrosanct, and we have insisted for all and sundry that every center manager inspects the whole examination and ensures that everything that is required is carried out, and that the security officers accompany the center manager to the examination to the schools. If you watch the way we process the exam from here, you will notice that there is no way this examination can ever leak. So when I still see letters of exam leaking, I don't know where that vocabulary is coming from.
Now, the Narok Governor, Samuel Ole Tunai, has faulted the partial lockdown placed in 5 counties of Nairobi, Kiambu, Machakos, Kajiado, and Nakuru. Speaking in Narok County, Tunai, who also serves as the chairman of Tourism Subcommittee at the Council of Governors, regretted that the lockdown came at a time when tourists were beginning to flock Masai Mara Game Reserve in readiness for Easter celebrations.
The industry has taken a beating from March last year with the advent of COVID-19. So when you say you have locked down Nairobi, definitely you know this is where tourists land. So when you cannot access Nairobi, either in and out, and especially this period when you know we were told that Mara was full for Easter. And immediately they said with the lockdown, there were cancellations. And with cancellations, you know, as usual, the hotels loses money. The next thing is there are no jobs, you know. And therefore, it's sad for the industry, definitely, because there are no jobs, and it's bad for the hotels owners. But on the other hand, it's about life, saving life, because people are dying. As we speak, actually, there are a lot of people. You cannot get a bed in Nairobi Hospital, you cannot get a bed in the Aga Khan and so forth. So on one hand, the government is trying to save life, but on the other hand is the economic. So trying to balance the two.
Still on matters COVID-19, Coast Region Commissioner John Elungata has directed security teams in Kwale and Taita Taveta that border neighboring Tanzania to strictly check designated transit points. Speaking when he toured the border crossing points in Taita Taveta County, Elungata confirmed that surveillance across the region has been heightened to curb the risk of coronavirus infections.
Restrictions. At the same time, we are monitoring exams in our secondary schools, KCSE, and so far we're not seeing many incidents, maybe one pregnancy or so, but the exams are running. People are also obeying restrictions that government has placed to prevent the further spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Our chiefs are here to ensure that gatherings of any nature respect the protocols that government has set, so that we do not become the next center. You know, last year we were the focus, but I think the efforts we put in were able to save us. This time the focus is elsewhere, and we don't want that focus to return.
Moving on, elders from Suba and Kuria communities in Homa Bay and Migori counties have come together to chart their unity. They say this will enable them to be involved in socio-economical and cultural activities. In their meeting held in Migori County, the two communities have spoken on the need to promote their language and culture that they say are at the verge of extinction. Representatives reiterated on their history, saying Kuria and Suba communities share common background, hence the need to have one political voice, language, and culture.
tunaona ya kwamba tunakuja kupotea. Tumepotea mbali sana. Mkuria na Msuba ni ndugu, lakini mambo mengi kwa wakati huu yanatupotelea kwa sababu ya kuwa mbali. Ndio maana tumeona ya kwamba tuungane pamoja, na tunaomba sana viongozi wetu, ma MCA, wabunge, ili watuunganishe.
Unganisha Musuba, Muhoro na Mukuria, tunaunganisha hiyo kitu kuwa pamoja. Maana ndio sababu tunakamatana mkono, ndio hiyo tunasikana hipi. Huyu ni mtu wa kutoka Muhoro.
Tunaona turudie lugha ya Suba kwa watoto wetu, jamaa zetu, hata wajukuu wetu. Hiyo lugha yetu isipotee na mila zetu pia zisipotee. Ukoo wetu ni mdogo, sasa vitu vikigawa hakuna kitu Msuba anapata rahisi, sababu ni kama hatujulikani.
Now that story takes us to a short break. Please do send us your feedback at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms. We will be right back with more news.
You are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories. As the country gears up for possible BBI referendum and 2022 general elections.
As the salvos enter
his 5 years term as the deputy president.
Pundits night for political
mountain. Give Moses Kuria a chance to respond. Let me ask you this: are you not taking advantage?
People with the ultimate power.
Kikuyus will vote for somebody from
the newsmakers, the opinion shapers, and the pundits.
I believe
that part so that I don't
we dissect everything you need to know to make. How do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates.
The position of the Prime Minister will go a party.
Neither Raila nor Ruto are in the work plan on the roadmap for transition as far as the government is concerned.
Informative health discussions, business, farming. And sing deeds and music bands.
Back to the seasons of my youth.
Every Monday. Did you know?
And
Before markets open, you are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Welcome back to Newsfeed here in TV47. If you are joining us now, I am Muthoni Maina. Now in Isiolo, Marsabit, Meru and Samburu County, residents have been issued with a notice to surrender illegal firearms or for the government to risk disarmament exercise by the government. Speaking in Isiolo after a joint security meeting with security players and over 150 elders from the 4 counties, the Eastern Regional Commissioner Isaiah Nakoru said that the counties are harboring unnumbered illegal firearms that have fueled conflict, leading to deaths and loss of property. Nakoru says the government has identified notorious areas and will conduct sport disarmament operations based on intelligent reports from government agencies.
Wale ambao wako pale tumewapatia wiki moja